Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we have updates on Victory Saber. The LEGO Optimus Prime is officially announced, and Amazon wrecks our wallets with new Legacy exclusives. Today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2022, and this is episode 486 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's going to build the show one brick at a time, without instructions. I'm your host, Jeremy, aka Yakko, and I'm joined by a fraction of the excellent Transmissions team, Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, I'm a big fraction though, right? Like I'm a very, very valuable section, very large chunk.
You're a third of the regular host.
Oh, that's a good size.
Yeah.
Let's talk Transformers.
Awesome. Yeah. And as you can tell from this train wreck already, Charles is out this week. So just hold on to your butts and we'll see how well we can do this. So before we get started, a quick kind of announcement of some podcasts that some of us were on. I was on the Wait You Haven't Seen podcast by TV's Travis. He was in America's Next Top Podcaster, I think the year before me, but he does this podcast where either he or the guest talks about a movie that they just saw for the first time for the podcast. When he asked me if I wanted to come on and what movies I hadn't seen, I mentioned how I've never seen the 80s Masters of the Universe live action movie. Now I have seen it because I needed an excuse. And hey, the movie's not actually as bad as it gets all this crap for. So it's not a cinematic masterpiece, but it's a fun movie. Anyway, we'll have a link in the show notes. You can check that out. It'll be out on Wednesday, the day that this episode comes out, and it's a fun conversation.
I've never seen it either.
You just, if you need like 2 hours of just turn off my brain and watch something, it's worth it.
Okay.
And then Dr. Pants was the next contestant on TFG1 Mike's I think it's All Things Transformers Origins.
Yeah, the
podcast.
origin stuff. So first it was me, and then it was Charles, and now it's Dr. Pants' turn, and then I think you're up next after that.
Yeah, so. I've already recorded mine, so it's coming up, I think, in a week or two. But you've already listened to the Dr. Pants one?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I liked it, yeah. He did a good job, and threw some shade at me, which is it's always nice to hear. So I enjoyed that.
You and Dr. Pants have this nice little rivalry going.
It's nice. It's not too harsh, and it's all good-natured fun. It only hurts our pocketbooks. So
yeah,
doing some serious damage to that too. So
yeah. So anything like that can only benefit me and Charles.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So now getting into the show proper, let's talk about our Donatreons, who are the lovely people who donate money to help keep this podcast going. And we just want to give all of you thanks. And we appreciate every one of you, especially the ones that come out on Sunday nights to listen to us record live. It's always a blast having a live audience to just see us completely screw up. And we would only do that for the best people, which are our Donatreons.
Yeah. And a huge shout out to a couple Australians in the room right now. We got, Gizmo Gizmos. Yes, Gizmos and Onslaught in the room right now, and they're a couple of Aussies, so a couple new guys to the room, and a couple Australians, and I love it. Australia is my second home. I mentioned in the chat that I spent a year there back in '96 on an exchange program. I've talked about it before, probably a few times, and I left my heart there, so it's my home away from home.
And don't let your wife know that you left your heart there.
She
like,
knows.
Who is that?
Yeah.
All right. And then we're going to get into this more in alt mode, but we are going to be giving away next week one of the new IDW Transformer Humble Bundles. So go to transmissionspodcast.com/IDW Humble Giveaway. And all we ask is for a name and an email address so we can announce and contact the winner. And if you would like, let us know what your favorite IDW Transformers title or story arc was. That's not required. But yeah, this is going to be a quick giveaway. We're just announcing it this week, and we're going to give it away on alt mode next week. And it'll be the full 53 item Humble Bundle. So check out that link, transmissionspodcast.com/IDW Humble Giveaway.
This is probably something I should have asked you before we started recording, so good on me. But there's some restrictions involved with this Humble Bundle that we probably should people should know about. We're probably going to talk about it a lot more in alt mode, but do you know offhand the restrictions, Jeremy?
I know that Humble Bundle is not available in every country.
Right.
If you cannot buy Humble Bundle things in your country, I do not think that you would be able to use the link if you were the winner.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, I do not know offhand what countries those are. I'm looking now to see if there is a list. I believe that I did see someone in our Discord post about Latin America.
That's what brought it up to me. Yes, that's what kind of triggered this in my brain. So we'll figure it out, and then we'll kind of we'll make sure that whomever wins it, if they can't use it, then we'll make it right. Yeah, it's in the General Comics Talk channel. That question, or not the question, but the statement.
And it looks like it's just for the comic stuff, because I just looked up. I saw if you're buying a Steam game, it might work worldwide. So we will look more into this. We will talk about it more on alt mode. And like Daryl said, if you win and you're not able to use it, we will make it right. Figure out something else to give you. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that is all the pre-show stuff. So let's talk about some toy news.
All right, and it's been a while since we've talked about this, but we've got a Hazlab Victory Saber update. All right. So, not a big update, but a significant one nonetheless. So we got an update for Victory Saber, and this is showing off color prototypes, and there was a video posted, and it was by Evan, a Transformers product designer, and we've gotten to know Evan over the last couple of years. He's been in a bunch of videos for Fan First Friday and Fan First Tuesday and all the other crazy stuff that they've been doing online. So essentially, they just posted this video, and the link here shows off a bunch of screen grabs from it, where they go through both the Star Saber and the Victory Leo figure and show off a bunch of different features for it, show off the different modes that both of them will transform into, and then the combination modes. And there's a couple images where they do some size comparisons with, I think it's Earthrise. I can't tell.
Earthrise Prime.
Yeah, and then it's
Siege
Hound. Siege Hound. Yeah, so Hound came in Siege. Can never remember which version of War for Cybertron some of these earlier ones came in, but so Siege Hound and Earthrise Optimus. So. And then they show the comparison for both of those with a couple of different components. So it looks really good, and they do the total combination for alt mode and in Victory Saber mode, and they do show that the wing backpack can actually go on Optimus Prime as well, which is just a nice little bonus. Not meant to really probably do that, but it just does it anyway. And so take a look here, and they also do show off the Star Saber base mode, so you do get that as well. But yeah, there's a lot of great images here. They're all taken from this one video, so you can go through that. Remember that it is a prototype, and everything at the bottom of this entire video it says prototype final product. Will vary. I thought that was kind of funny because most of the time it says final product may vary, but no, they're definite. It will vary. This is not definite. So
yeah, and he goes into it because this is more to make sure that the molds are correct, not the plastic colors. So some of the plastic is just whatever was in the molds. You can tell particularly from the blast effects. Those are just, he was like, that's what was in the mold that day. Mm-hmm. But there's also no paint apps, no stickers or anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
It's just the plastic.
But no, it looks really good. I'm pretty excited. So, cause I mean, we're all getting one. So it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for this. So take a look at the images, watch the video if you want, and get excited for it. So it's coming.
Yeah, this looks really great, and I love some of the little things that he talked about. Like I wouldn't think about, like the shield can also act as a sheath for the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And they made sure that when he is holding the sword in the combined, like you have the combined base and the blade, he can hold it with two hands. The handle's long enough and he's flexible enough. He can hold the sword with two hands, which is like a classic pose, I guess, from the anime.
And that's great. It's very hard to do with toys, even modern
when
toys,
they showed off his shoulder joints, it's a butterfly joint that for a move like that, it has to like flex out one way, but for other poses, you have it flexed out a different way. And I don't know if I've ever seen the butterfly joint quite like what they were doing here. I thought that was really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Right on. So my actual topic for this week is, it made pretty big news this week. So if you haven't heard about it and you're hearing about it first here from us, then you got to come up for air sometimes. This was pretty big. They've officially announced the Lego Optimus Prime, and they showed off pictures and the Lego number for it, and all the details came out last week. And so it is a G1 design. The Lego number is 10,302, or however they say it, 10302. I don't know how do Lego people say those numbers. It is going to contain 1,508 pieces. It will be released in June of this year, and its suggested price is 169.99 euro. So
dollars.
Is that exact? Is it the same? Oh wow,
it's gonna be the same.
So 169.99 US dollars. It's probably around 250 Canadian. So, which actually I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. So I'm kind of impressed that it's that cheap. So we have a bunch of links for this thing, showing off the official reveal. We've got a bunch of pictures, a story with I believe this is the designer of it.
And we're getting in our chat, DJ Ron saying it's 220 Canadian, and then Onslaught says it's 260 Australian.
Oh, there. Wow. Okay. I was right in the middle there. All right. Very good. So anyway, I don't know this guy's name, but there's a bunch of pictures with these some guys holding this thing. The design looks pretty good. It's fully transformable when it's assembled, which is pretty cool. The box is a lot thinner than I thought it would be. I thought it would be bigger, but I guess Lego is they've really curtailed their packaging. It's 18 plus, which I thought was odd for a Lego set, and it is Hasbro and Takara Tomy product. It is dual licensed. It does it shows that it has the sideswipes rocket pack, matrix of leadership with opening chest, everything that a G1 Optimus Prime you would expect it to have, which includes rubber tires because Lego does rubber tires.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Yeah. So Jeremy, I'm going to throw it to you because Lego is Lego's eternal. It does, it's something that kind of sticks around. You have it when you're a kid and you really never get rid of it because it's just one of those things that you can always kind of, break out and mess around with. At this price point, I think it's kind of accessible. I believe you had made mention that this was coming your way.
Yeah. I was talking to my wife about it because she's the big Lego person in our household because she does a bunch of the Star Wars sets. And when I told her about this, she's like, get it for your birthday. I'm like, score. There was no negotiations needed. She was just like, happy birthday. So I'm like, great.
Done and done.
And the price is like right in line with those high-end, Star Wars sets. And when I saw one of the pictures, it was like 10 bags, which is a lot. I mean, you mentioned how many pieces. One thing that I saw in one of the reviews I watched, it was like a Lego reviewer. He mentioned that there are only like 4 or 5 non-standard Lego pieces in the set, which is really incredible to me. I mean, you could probably take your standard Lego sets, your just like the generic Lego sets, and you can mostly build this Optimus Prime, and that is very impressive.
Yeah.
He's got ankle tilts, but no knees. I guess you do what you can. But another thing that's like striking to me is that Hasbro is letting a licensed company make a transforming figure. I mean, they're slowly loosening up. You got the Roboson, you got that Great Value Roboson we talked about a couple weeks ago, and then you have this one. And I think it's great that we're seeing more. I mean, they're being careful about who they're letting do it, but I think it's great that we're getting actual transforming figures. And this looks so much better than anything Creo ever did. So Hasbro learned their lesson.
Yeah, it's true.
And in the transformation, you do have to replace one piece, and that's the waist piece where like the license plate is. You swap, you pull that off, and you put on gold one, that matches his waist piece.
Right.
And that's it. Everything else will transform without disassembling it all.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I'm surprised it doesn't have knees though. That does kind of surprise me that they've done this and didn't give it knees. It seems like something you'd be able to kind of, do on your own after the fact though.
I imagine there's going to be people that work out a way to put knees on this, and it won't take long, I'm sure. Lego people are nothing if not creative on hacking their toys.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm still on the fence about getting this or not. It's cheap enough that I could probably swing it, but then after
You're not a big Lego guy.
I'm not a big Lego guy, but I'm a big Optimus Prime Transformer guy. So, and I've got this Roboson thing sitting here, so why not add a Lego thing to kind of sit by it? But
how's
then again,
your daughter on Lego? I mean,
she doesn't do it anymore. No, I've just got this giant bin of it in the basement that I'm sure my son will get into at some point, but I can't have it in the house and not just have it standing there. I'd build it and then I'd want to build something else with it. Right. That's how I play with Lego. Well, I like the idea of it being built out of non-standard or a lot of standard pieces. I'm sure once it actually shows up in stores, the instruction booklet will be online and then, could probably try and see how many of the pieces I actually own. That would be interesting.
If you had enough, you could make like a white one, make a green one for like a Toxitron. Yeah.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nemesis Prime will end up out there and all kinds of them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And like a gray one, make a dead Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very cool. I don't think, here we are, it's the middle of May. We're not going to have to wait very long to see this thing hit the stores. And then we'll know which one of your friends is actually the biggest Lego guy. But that's it. That's all I brought to the show this week. Jeremy, I think you've got the most stuff tonight. What do you got?
This is something, I think the figures had been rumored, but we didn't realize how they were going to come out. Amazon has announced the Wreck and Rule collection, which is 5 figures. Well, really it's 7 figures, but 5 boxes. And it is a set of wreckers. They announced it like one a day over the course of the last week. And it starts with Impactor and was Comic Universe Impactor and Spindle, which is a, what do they call these guys? The dinosaur fossilizers.
Yeah.
He's a fossilizer, but he's in gold and purple and silver, kind of matching Impactor's colors. Impactor is, I'm sure Charles would correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the Marvel comic looking Impactor.
Marvel UK?
I guess, or maybe IDW, I'm not sure. But, it's a repaint of the recent Impactor we got.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks really good. These all use the Wrecker symbol from, I believe was it 3H? It's one of the old BotCon license holders. I thought that was really cool. Impactor and Spindle is $45. And then we have G2 Universe Leadfoot and Master Dominus. And Master Dominus is another fossilizer. He transforms into a mastodon. This is also $45. And then we have the next one is...
Is this the first time we've gotten a mastodon as a fossilizer? I think it is.
Is it? I thought these are all repaints of other fossilizers.
Well, I think it's a kind of a repaint, but they've also added some new pieces here.
Okay. I mean, it looks really good. Yeah,
there was a story about this one, I thought, where it was showing some prototype bits, but yeah, I thought I saw something about it. Maybe it was just on Twitter during the week where there were some prototype pieces, because I don't recall this one ever being released before. But the head, like the actual robot mode, looks like the Triceratops guy, whatever the hell his name was. But they just kind of gave him a new mastodon head.
Yeah, I could see how they could customize that.
Yeah,
take some pieces from these figures and make a new thing.
Yeah. I think it's the Triceratops guy, whatever his name was, and then they just made him into a mastodon, which is cool. I mean, it works. It totally works.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good looking skeletal mastodon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously Leadfoot is a repaint of Mirage.
And then we have the the Autobot Springer, which is the toy deco of Springer, and this is Siege or earlier. I can't remember what this one was.
Yeah, this was Siege. Siege Springer, I think, is where this came from. Yeah,
but the deco is all kind of muted. I believe this was the toy deco, right? From the original toy.
I mean, I have it. I'm looking at it right now, and it's a lot. I mean, it's kind of the same. There's a lot of chrome on the original G1 toy, but they don't really do that anymore. So it's just a lot of gray here.
All right, and then the next one we have is Prime Universe Bulkhead, which is a repaint of the Bulkhead we just got, but he's got a camo paint job, whereas the other one was basically just all green, and he has a little hammer instead of. Oh, he also does still have his mace. I see it behind the shield, and both he and Springer were $34, so a little bit less for those two, and then. The final one we have here is Diaclone Universe Twin Twist, because Diaclone is now its own universe. But this is Twin Twist, who, another classic wrecker, and this is $25. So it's a good mix of figures. I think it's, for the most part, I really like a lot of these inclusions. I do like a lot of the paint jobs. I think Bulkhead is an easy thing for them to put in because they just made the Bulkhead and it's just a repaint, and he was a wrecker in the show, but I really wish they would have chosen something else.
Yeah.
Bulkhead is still on the shelves, the regular one, and I don't know, but besides him, I think the other ones they all look really good. The fossilizers were a surprise, but I guess they're trying to justify the $45 price on those two, and they look good. If you get all of these, you get, I think it's the boxes. They all come with a cardboard piece of the Wrecker's hammer. So you have to have all 5, and you can build this papercraft hammer. And a lot of people online are slamming it. They're like, it's paper. And I'm like, it's fine. If you want to have it on your display, it looks okay. It's not like you're going to be there fiddling with it. It's just up there to, put behind your toys.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine. So, Daryl, what do you think of this whole collection?
I think it's very cool. It's a bunch of repaints, which I generally don't buy unless they're in universe, like in main universe kind of thing. So, I don't really get into that. The only one that is remotely interesting to me would be the impactor, but I already have an impactor, so I'm good on that. So I mean, really, I'm not really interested in any of them, but they all look good. I know that a lot of people have been expressing a lot of interest in the Twin Twist because he was a very hard figure to find. And,
and this is the Titan Master, like Titan's Return.
Yeah.
So he does have a headmaster.
That's right. So he's a tough figure to get. As far as the original G1 colors. So this is the Diaclone colors, but the figure itself is the same as the Titan Master one. Yeah, that's a really cool figure, and a lot of people are jumping on this one because it's $25, and it's still pretty cheap. So yeah, I can see people getting in on this for that. I know you haven't mentioned it yet, but all the boxes, just the same as your Beast Wars collection, or the Golden Disc collection, sorry, they all kind of combine into one giant image, which you have a nice clean image there to share with everyone.
Yeah, we'll have a link in the show note to that.
Mm-hmm. But I think the collection's a really nice thing, and I like the fact that Hasbro's doing all this stuff. They're releasing all these things, and generally these are replacing BotCon sets. You know, so
they are.
So you're looking at these and you're thinking, okay, well, do I really want these? And what am I going to do with these in the future? Or, why can't they release them in one big box set or something like that? And well, they are kind of. It's just all the boxes are separate, and you have to have all 5 boxes to make the giant box set.
Even with BotCon, you had the box set, but you had other figures as well. Yeah. So I don't know. It is fine, and I do kind of like this since we don't have any official convention. Like you said, this is taking the place of that.
Yeah. So so that Golden Disc collection is like a BotCon collection. This is another BotCon collection. The main difference is it's accessible to a lot more people. You don't have to attend a convention to get to them, and Hasbro itself has a lot more access to its figures. The one downside is that they generally don't seem to be interested in digging deeper into the archive of molds, right? We're looking at 7 figures here, that the oldest one, I think, is the Titan's Return one here. And it's really not that old, right? But it's a nice deep dive into, a figure that is harder to find for people. But, I know that some of those later BotCon sets were going and grabbing animated stuff or late G1, pretender shells. And that's, those are nuts, right? Those are really cool to get. They're a cool set. This is a cool set. It looks good. I appreciate some of these, these harder to find, like these harder characters to get, like G2 Leadfoot. You'll never see that. You're never going to see that in a store shelf, like on the, as a mainline release. G2 Leadfoot is this is the only place you're going to find a G2 Leadfoot, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And that's very cool. So for that reason alone, it's a neat concept. Doing Springer toy colors and that kind of thing is whatever. It's a nice way to get it out. Honestly,
I never got the other Springer, so
yeah,
it's a good opportunity.
It's a good figure. Yeah, and it's and personally, for me, in my personal headcanon, you can't have a Wreckers team without Springer on it. I mean, yeah. I know we just had the Wreckin' Circuits or whatever the hell it was called,
Tread and Circuits,
and it didn't have Springer on it, but Springer needs to be on the Wreckers. That's just in my head.
Yeah, and if they were to do anything differently, I think, like you mentioned, going to some of the older molds, maybe using an animated Bulkhead, re-releasing one of those figures would have been a better choice, or Prime Wheeljack or something like that.
Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with the whole thing is putting out a figure that's already still actively on store shelves.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason I can see for them not going deep into the archive is parts count.
Yeah.
These newer figures they're more in line with their certain, production values and how they make stuff. And those older figures, you look at animated and you look at stuff from early classics and stuff like that. There's a lot of metal pins, There's a lot of some of them even have screws. Remember when toys had screws in them? You know, it's they just don't do that stuff anymore. So, you know, if they're going to bring back old stuff, they got to, you know, find a factory that can make that stuff again. And, or, you know, they got to dust off the old, you know, pin puncher, you know, it's not going to happen. So,
I'm sure
you know,
the amount of plastic in the toy is probably also increased.
And that's another thing, right? So, yeah, so they gotta stick with a type of figure that's going to, you know, fit in with the way things are made now, so they can just kind of throw it through the molds. Yeah, that's probably why.
Cool. Well, we'll have links to all of that in the show notes. Check it out. And also, Ben Yee posted the link to the clean image that he got from a Hasbro team member. So check out that as well. And I think with all of that out of the way, let's go to trips to the store. Trips to the Store is the segment of our show where we show off all the awesome Transformers merch we got this week. We do this as a video on YouTube so you can see everything. We also put the audio right here in the podcast. So keep listening as we describe all of our stuff in loving detail, and then pop over to the YouTube channel later to actually see it in high definition. Without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
And I'm going to start, as I was telling Daryl when we were getting on here, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel because I had nothing new. I did not make it to the comic store. So I was digging through a bin of old toys. And in addition to my Superpowers Superman figure that I found, which is not Transformers, I did find my Micromasters. I'll get back to the page where I can see what this was. This was Micromaster Combiner 6 Turbo from 2002 that I got. It's a neat little figure. It is Combiner in like name only, because basically you just have this frame that the figures all connect to.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 2002 and Hasbro was still getting back into making vehicles and stuff. So, but I think this is actually like they brought it over straight from Takara. Like this is like what a late G1 Takara did.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know the history of it. I did buy one of those at
Japanese.
I bought one of those at TFCon in December, and yeah, it's I mean, they're worth money. The little Micromaster Combiners from, I think it was Universe is where they got
that was the Hasbro line,
or Universe or Cybertron. It might have been Cybertron. They got released.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Universe.
Universe, okay, but yeah, so they all look pretty good. They are very Japanese, and it seems to be that's what the third party kind of masterpiece scaled combiners are all going with now, is making these kind of bodies that everything kind of plugs into. So, but yeah, they're great little guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get them put together, they do fall off, like the legs. The cars fall off a lot, and you know there's not a big peg there for it to stick onto.
Mm-mm.
But you know, you get it posed and on your shelf, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of sticking with the small theme, I also found my Legend Scale Bulkhead from Transformers Prime.
Cool.
This was a fun figure just to fiddle with on my desk. It's Bulkhead. He's tiny, and he does have his mace. It's kind of an Energon mace this time. I don't know. It was just, I remember when I got him, he kind of stayed on my desk at work, and I would, as I was like on meetings and stuff, I'd transform him from alt mode and back. And kind of, we were talking about Bulkhead earlier in the show. So I have that. And then the last thing I have, when I pulled him out, I thought he was my G1 version, but he was just Generations scoop. It came out a few years ago with the Target Master.
Thrilling 30. I have him on my wall right here. Yeah.
Yeah, but he looks so much like the G1 scoop. I think the scoop part of the truck is different colored, but he's a great toy. He transforms almost exactly like the G1 toy, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he has his little Target Master, which is kind of a precursor to all the Titan Masters and stuff that they were doing.
Yeah, he should have two.
Okay, well, the other one is probably in the bag or that I missed or something, but Anyway, that is all I got this week.
Cool. Yeah, there's some good stuff. Some nice small guys.
What do you got?
Well, yeah, I didn't get anything new again this week, but this is just some stuff I kind of pulled off the shelf here. My G1 Skylynx, I pulled him off the shelf just to have something different to show. This is he's not a reissue. He's an original G1. I don't have any batteries in him right now, but rest assured he does work. I did have a video that I put on Twitter years ago where I had him racing my Trypticon, and they're great figures. These old G1s with the motors in them. And actually, I remember I did post a video or an image because I had been fixing a Skylynx, so I had the bottom all apart and off, and showing all the gearing in them because if you want to see some nuts 80s engineering, open up the mechanics of a G1 Skylynx. It's nuts. There's like 40 gears inside of them. It's crazy.
They could probably work out these days with like a fraction of the number of pieces. It'd be
so easy, and maybe one motor instead of like two or whatever. I can't remember. I think it's just one motor, but it's crazy. And I just remember loving this guy because of the space shuttle. Back in the 80s, the space shuttle program was like really cool and fun, and people cared about it. Nobody cares about it anymore.
My kid, we were talking about space like a week or two ago, and he was thinking it was like right after the Apollo missions, they went to the space shuttle, like just immediately, like in the early 60s or late 60s. I'm like, no,
why not?
The shuttle never went to the moon and stuff. So yeah, it's just hard for kids now to understand.
I never got this one. Yeah. I never got this one as a kid, and I always wanted it because he was a space shuttle. And I'm like, I just wanted a toy space shuttle. Give me Skylynx, and I never got him.
You never had Astrotrain?
I did, but he wasn't the same. He wasn't the white space shuttle. This looks like the frickin' space shuttle, and that's what I wanted. You know, it had the little doors and with the little everything. Mm-hmm. You know, so I didn't. Yeah. I never had that. I always wanted it. Yeah. Anyway, the only other one I wanted to show off this week is the train bot that I showed off last week, but I transformed him. This is Iron Arm from the Radiatron set, and this is the guy who was the pants last week. So he came in pants mode, and I spent probably a good 30 minutes transforming him. I did it because it took me a while because I tried to do it without any instructions. And to my own credit, I'm going to toot my own horn here for a minute, I got like 95% done on my own. I only needed a little bit of help with securing his arms. I had it all done right. I just couldn't figure out how to get them secured. And then this backpack piece on the back, I had no idea how to get it done. They're on these little armatures at the top here that and they're in two pieces. The whole thing's in two pieces. So basically it just looks like a big exploded out, and I was just dealing with a bunch of exploded plastic panels, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this. It's just all over the place. So I had to bring up a video and have it show me what to do with these things. But all in all, I got the legs down like immediately, and I gotta say, these legs are using the torso leg joints, like the torso hip joints for his own leg joints. And they are incredibly strong. Like, this guy, I'm sure he could pose holding, I don't know, probably Unicron in his hands and pose on one leg. Like, these legs are incredibly strong. And I'm really impressed with the way that this thing is put together. Yeah. So
he looks very well built.
He's extremely well built, and
really
he's
good.
bigger. He's bigger than the other guys. So this is the other one that I got last week, and really I didn't have to do much to get him, together. But that's them just side by side. So yeah, they're the pants guy, Iron Arm, is he's way taller, but this guy's a little shorter. This is Moonshine. He's shorter, but these are the other two, the arms. And they're exactly the same size, so I'll only show one. But they're still shorter.
Yeah. So there's 6 total.
There are 6 total, yeah.
So you're gonna have a short guy too.
Well, Moonshine is the shirt guy.
Oh, okay.
He makes the shirt. So this guy here makes the pants and the tummy. So he's the pants and the tummy, and then Moonshine is the crop top. So yeah, but I'm looking forward. I'm going to take some pictures of these guys in robot mode, transform them in the train mode, and then finally into the Radiatron mode, so that I can have it sitting there and waiting for the arms to show up like everyone else. Cool. But I love it. This guy's awesome. He's so beefy.
It looks very good. All right. Well, that is it for Trips to the Store this week.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we are back from Trips to the Store, and that will also close out our entire podcast. So thank you for listening this week. Again, I mentioned this in Trips to the Store, but I always cut that part out when I edit Trips to the Store. But we need feedback. We are really lacking in feedback lately, particularly voicemails. We really love getting your voicemails because that means that we don't have to actually read the feedback. I know I appreciate that. I know Daryl appreciates that.
Mm-hmm.
Charles probably not so much because everyone loves hearing Charles talk, but we really love your voicemails. We love hearing what you think about things. We talked about a lot of interesting things this week. So let us know your opinions on all the Lego stuff, the Wreck and Rule stuff, anything you got going on for the show or alt mode. And we really want to hear from you.
We've had a lot of interesting topics recently. I mean, we've, and including alt mode. I mean, you can leave a feedback for alt mode as well, but we've talked about book banning. We've talked about, we've had the Lego set from this week. We've had, what else did we have that was really a good topic of discussion? Oh, now I can't think of it. Well, anyway, we've had some rip-roaring discussions. And,
yeah. We have them in Discord all the time, too. But.
Oh, yeah. Another way to look at it, Jeremy, though, is that if people aren't leaving feedback, then they're obviously very satisfied with how the podcast is going, and they just like it. They don't want to, make us to have us change anything either. So,
yeah, I mean, that's how we're going to have to take it, I guess.
That's pretty much how I'm going to take it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that will be it. We also want to shout out our Masterpiece Donatrions who are supporting us at the highest levels on our Patreon. John Forex Levingood, who just this morning changed from monthly to yearly. So we appreciate that. Guaranteed support. So it's awesome. And then Demon Tech 82. Thank you both for supporting us at such a high level.
Mm-hmm.
And that will wrap up Transmissions this week. So we will see you next time. Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.
Got it?
I got it. such a weird time. Never ever have we ever started at 10 seconds after, but whatever. I can do it.
I don't know how Charles does the thing.
You wait and see what I choose that we start at for alt mode.
Like something 07.
You're going to need more decimal places after. You're going to need the 1,000th of a second.
Welcome to Transmissions. I was about to say Transmissions alt mode in my head. And I was actually going through the normal show intro. I have 3 old toys scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I figure I'll go first and then you.
I have a transformed toy from last week.
Oh.
I got nothing new. I know. Where's John Forex Levingood? Come on, man.